Good afternoon, guys. It's Kelby here, joined with Drew. We're here for the culture episode today, and we are on core value number 6. Number 6, intentional purpose. What do you want? Be specific, then visualize. Believe and execute your purpose with intense focus. This requires discipline, especially when times are not ideal. You got anything on that right now?
I think just the basic way to put it is that if you don't have any purpose in life, then what drives you? Why are you getting up out of the bed every morning?
Yeah.
A lot of people try to coast through life, and most of those people, I'm sure we all know them, are very, I don't want to judge, but like complain a lot about a lot of things, like why things aren't going their way.
You can definitely tell when someone doesn't have, I don't want to say they don't have a purpose. They're not striving to it. Their lifestyle is not built or going, their habits and stuff. You can definitely tell they're not trying to go for they're not living out their purpose. They don't have set goals. They're just walking around life. You always say the non-playable characters, NPCs.
NPCs. Yeah, they're clocking in and clocking out,
Yeah.
and that's about all they do, which here's the thing. Some of those people are really good workers. A lot of them are. It's just you would like to see the best out of them, especially if you run your own company and you have these people coming into your business, clocking in, doing the work, which is okay, but you're not going to get anywhere in life if you don't put everything that you have into what you're doing.
Yeah, so I say here at Armcorps, we have a mission statement, which is that whatever infrastructure you envision, Armcorps will provide a workforce that embraces personal excellence and serves you with professional quality. I tell guys or girls when they come in, and you may not know your purpose right now. You may be living it and you don't even know, but take that mission here, because this is an Armcorps construction podcast. Take that mission, adopt that as your purpose, because it has right there. We have a workforce that embraces personal excellence. That's personal, because at the end of the day, when we have a company full of people that strive to be personally excellent themselves, I don't see them really faltering or failing for you as an organization, because that bleeds into every aspect. Because think about it, if they're a negative person outside of work, they're most likely going to be a negative person inside of work. And all that stuff's going to mesh and bleed together. So on the contrary, if you have someone that's positive and wants to build a big life and thrive in every aspect of their life, they're going to bring that into work. So, to figure out your purpose, I have a few notes here. It's just what's important to you. That is the purpose. That is what is important to you. You have to tell the truth. You have to become completely clear on that, and then start planning, start putting some goals, and then start building the habits to achieve those goals. And it's just clear plan and just building that discipline. And that's habits. When you start doing that consistently, that's consistency in everything. You're going to build that discipline, and you're going to start growing towards that plan, towards that goal, towards that milestone that you want, that is important to you. And then when you achieve that, you go to the next thing. And another thing is just being present. I think purpose in life, like we were given this life. I don't know how whoever believes it or not, but we were given this life, and it was already laid for us that there is a path for us. So if you believe it or not, there's already a path that I think, I heard something the other day. It's like, I already think the path is already laid down for you for sure. But you walk along it on the way, and just you may take a step off here, you may take a step off there, but then you figure out there's something, a sign from God or a sign from this or whatever, that pushes you back on the right path. Like if you want to go this way, you think you're supposed to become a business owner. You start trying to become a business, but you start hitting hurdles, hitting this. Like, yeah, there's a difference between just quitting or being like, okay, maybe this isn't what my purpose is. So you revert back to the path, start walking again, and then you're like, okay, here's another sign. Maybe I'll try this. Or it's crazy. There's so much to it in life that when you really think about it.
Like you were saying with the path, God's path, everywhere we walk, we plant a seed. So God's path, think of it as like the most rich soil you could ever walk on. And if you walk off that path going to a rocky area, your seed will not be able to plant as well as you would like as you're walking. But sometimes it's really hard to find that path and to stay on that path. You just never know what God has in store for you. but trusting him and having some passion behind what you are very interested in, what you think you could do well in, that gets you a very long way. There's no real big difference between people who are making millions of dollars and people who are not doing anything for their lives besides not having compassion. I mean, they make excuses of like, oh, I was raised without a father. But you look at half the NFL players grew up in the hood, grew up in terrible scenarios, but they were so passionate about what they were doing that it got them to where they needed to be.
Yeah. And that first part of this intentional purpose, like have purpose. That's, we all know what that is, but it's being intentional about it. It's setting that clear plan out and having discipline to go with it, making decisions that are based upon that purpose.
Yeah.
Being intentional of making those habits and creating those actions and taking those action. That's being intentional, because you're setting yourself up for success in the future. That's the whole point of the intentional purpose. Like, you have the purpose, you're doing your purpose. You also have end goals that you want to get. So you have to be intentional, and we can't just be those whatever NPCs walking around just hoping for something to land and hit us right in the face.
That's not going to happen, by the way.
Well, I was about to say, people say, why do good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people? Or did I say that right? Why do good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people?
Yeah.
It's that saying gets me every time. I put something out about it a while ago, and I forget where I was going with this, but
well, basically the devil has you where he wants you. So the people that you see that are getting rich and getting all this, they're not walking with faith most of the time. They are comfortable where they're at and doing the things that does not go with God, and the devil has them and is allowing good things to happen to them. But once you start reading the Bible and going against that plan, that is when bad things start happening.
It's deceitful.
It is very.
I mean, the devil wants you to be comfortable, and that life is full of comforts.
Oh yeah.
The world is full of comforts, but when you decide to go the other way and trust in God, that's what we believe here. It's harder.
It is.
But the end result, that's a purpose. That can be your purpose, and it's more fulfilling. And there's a better place at the end for eternity for that. But getting back to the intent, so you just got to be intent with it. Intent with your decisions, intentional with your decisions. What environment are you surrounding yourself with? Does the environment you surround yourself with right now support that purpose? What you're eating, what you're reading, what you're watching, who your relationships are with. You hear, if you surround yourself with the 5 lions, you're going to become the 6th. If you surround yourself with 5 millionaires, you're going to become the 6th. If you surround yourself with 5 drug abusers, you're probably going to become the 6th. So what's that environment? Are you being intentional of surrounding yourself with a supportive environment? And that's the biggest thing. That's that intent and supporting yourself.
If you're lucky enough to stumble upon your purpose, I would say pray about it and go with it. If you've been your whole life, whether you're 18 or you're 50 and you finally find your purpose, don't go back to your bad habits and let that take over and you be lazy about it.
Mm-hmm. There was a part in that our explanation here. It's just, you have to execute your purpose, take action on it with intense focus.
Yeah. Take that jump.
Focus is difficult and it takes discipline. You have to stay laser focused on what you want. Life isn't going to be perfect. The pathway is not going to be perfect at all. You are going to come upon, life is not easy, but when you get on that path, life still won't get easy. You'll just get better. So you have options in life. Do you want to sit there and just be miserable the rest of your life? And maybe that's where people say they're happy. I hear that sometimes, but I want to be like, are you really? Is this really what you want the rest of your life? Because I don't think you're fully satisfied or fulfilled. Because like you said, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, those are the people who are complaining about everything.
Yeah.
They're comparing themselves to everyone else. They're jealous of this person, jealous of that person, criticizing this person who drives a nice car, says, oh, how they're lucky. No, they work their butt off to get to there.
95% of the work that they do sucks. You see the 5% online and over Instagram with their flashy cars, but it just didn't fall into their hands like everyone thinks. 95% of your job is going to suck, but if you have purpose and intent behind it, that 5% is going to be glorious.
The conversation I really like to go on sometimes is it falls into the sports. You hear people criticize professional athletes for how much they get paid. They get overpaid. And I've said it before. I mean, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you got to think about the work and the life that they don't have. They don't get to be with their families all the time. You don't see, it's that iceberg picture. You see at the top the success. You see the tip of the iceberg, but you don't see what's underneath, what they've had to go through and do and get to that point. Because I think it's like 2%, less than 2% of all college football players through Division I, II, III, NAIA make it to the NFL.
You can't deny that's hard work, because people can't tell the difference between a defensive back that's good and a defensive back that's decent, because the good one's going to go off, but the decent one's going to be like, hey, but you didn't see the off hours that other guy put in. You just don't. You don't see that 95%.
And I go through it with my life right now. I mean, I'll have my days where I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I tell I'm sitting there like, I need to go work out. I'm today like, I need to go start 75 hard Monday. And pretty close. I just need to do it. It takes action. And maybe I don't need all those. It's just when you really break it down, it's just as simple as just taking action and doing it. Why do you have to have a program? Why do I have to say I got to go start 75 hard just to get myself off this bad path? Like, why do I need that? It's taking action, being intentional, being focused, and going towards that purpose and living it out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's core value number 6 with Armcorps, is just have an intentional purpose. And I know some of these core values, the point of these core values, we've said it before, is just to take in your own life, personal. I hope anybody listening to this can take these for themselves. These apply to everybody. These apply to every aspect of our life. With our family, we can have integrity. With our family, we can have positive energy. With our family, we can communicate. I mean, effectively, all around accountability. This is everyday stuff. So if you're listening to this isn't just for Armcorps. These we don't expect I don't want to say this is forced or anything. Like, people are going to do what they want, but why wouldn't you want to live these? Why wouldn't you want to take these and live these in your life? I mean, it wouldn't. Obviously, no one's perfect. I'm not perfect on these, but they're there. They're here for us. We're trying to provide it. We're also trying to learn. So, yeah.
I would say look at these. They're on our online social medias, and take all of this in over the weekend and go Monday to your job and with your family and see the difference. Every core value you could apply to Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, go in right in the morning, be with positive energy.
Yeah.
People around you will change.
Yeah. And people may think this is the life coach stuff. This is all this stuff, but I don't understand why someone wouldn't want to be positive.
Just try.
I don't understand why someone wouldn't want to have a more successful life and be further down the road tomorrow, be 1% better than you were today. Why would someone not want that? Because if you're out there complaining about something, if you're out there not happy, if you're stressed, if you're anxious, apply these. Take these and apply these and start taking action. I'm telling you, will see a difference. It's simple, but people overthink it, overcomplicate it, and they're just back where they were. They're in this endless cycle.
Well, people keep saying, oh, it sounds so hard. It might be so hard because life is hard. But what if one thing comes in your life, you're not going to worry. You're not going to even think about what you were worrying about today. Next month, you're going to forget about it. Mm-hmm. So why not just take it day by day, one step at a time? If something comes in your life, let it happen. Use these core values to overcome that. And yeah, one day not every day is going to be perfect.
The comfort, I'm telling you, is not the easy way.
It's not.
It's the easy way. It's not the best way.
No.
Because that comfort is, in the moment you might feel good. In the moment you might feel good partying and drinking and just burying that stuff, because that's what those are. Those are Band-Aids, distractions. Like, I'm just going to literally, when I talk about journaling and talking about things and feelings and moments in your life and trauma, that's literally, I image it coming from my stomach or something and coming out of my mouth, and it's just coming out. The moment you start putting substances and pornography and whatever into your head, into your body, that's just pushing it back down, and it's going to come at the wrong time. So taking that easy way, taking that comfort way is not the way.
No.
Apply these in your life, because guess what? You want to know why it's not the easy way? You want to know why you haven't improved? Because you're still sitting here complaining. Mm-hmm. You're still sitting here anxious. Mm-hmm. You're still sitting here depressed. Think about it. Apply this stuff to your life. It'll work. Mm-hmm. I'm nowhere near perfect, never will be. But as long as you have this foundation, you can always fall back on, this pathway you can always come back to, it'll get you right back on it.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And the number one thing is self-awareness.
Yeah.
Become aware of how you're feeling, what you're thinking. I just learned something the other day too about that. We have thoughts that create feelings. Feelings create actions. You act upon your feelings about something, but those feelings come from a thought. So have a bigger gap in between the thoughts and the feelings. If you can stop it there, if you have a thought and you're feeling this way, there's a gap in between there. If we can start becoming self-aware of that gap, we can start just dumping that right there. Mm-hmm. Like, I think this, I'm starting to feel this way. Hold on, take a pause, dump it there, change the thought. If it gets past the feelings and now you're getting onto the actions, there's another gap. You can dump it there before you act, because the act is what people are going to see. The act is what people are going to react to. So you have two gaps. You have a chance to change that.
Yeah.
So if it gets to the feelings and you're about to act upon those feelings, like let's say you're in an argument, someone says something that offended you, you start getting boiled. I've done this. I react off of how I feel about that, and I start blowing off like that's bullcrap. No, that's not right. And then now you're reacting off of those emotions. You have a gap there that you can take a second to pause, and this takes a lot of practice, but it's that self-awareness and practice of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Those two gaps, take advantage of them. Take a second, count, whatever you got to do. Just learn to pause and stop. So
yeah, and you're going to get backlash if you start trying this stuff, and people are going to say that it's dumb, but that's just
you've changed, Drew.
That's just the devil checking in.
Yeah, so, you've changed, Drew. Yeah. Why are you like this? Yeah. That's the environment I'm talking about. If you don't have people that are supporting you, sorry, you're gonna have to cut people out of your life sometimes.
If people aren't supporting you, then you know you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's 100% right.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll end it on that. Cool. You got anything else?
That's it.
All right. So, you want to do the spiel, or you want me to?
Yeah, you can follow us on any social media platform. We also are hiring laborers, superintendents, and electrical estimator. So if you want to apply, again, on our social medias, and to make it easy, you can just go to our website at armcorpinc.com, ARMCORPINC.com. You could email us as well, Drew or Kelby, with that same armcorpinc.com at the end of that. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comment section. We are on YouTube, so you can see our beautiful faces. If you don't like the podcast all the time, you want to look in. Yeah, there you go. So you get to see some things that you don't get to see over the podcast platforms. But we are on platforms, Spotify and stuff like that. So please give us a follow, share the show, and that is it.
Cool.
Yep.
Peace.
See ya.